Welcome to Vegan Ultra. I'm one of your inspiration guides today because it's Thursday, so that means it's Vegan Chat with Adam and Sean. And today we are talking about New Year's resolutions, New Year, New You, and of course, everyone's favorite hopeful act to start the new year. Let's take a look at the data we have from Statista, a survey of 417 Americans. Top resolutions: save more money. We can see the effects of inflation. 50% exercise more, 47% eat healthier, 30% more time with family, 35% lose weight, 26% reduce spending, 19% less social media, and 19% less stress on the job. So these are wonderful ideas, of course, but let me show you how I did it. I was recently at a wonderful event by a group called Self-Perfected. They're a global organization that is completely free, and every 2 weeks in major cities they have mini kind of meetups, 10 or 20 people or so, and they're basically anybody who wants to improve their health, become richer, wealthier, make a difference to the world. Basically, anyone who wants to become Captain America version of themselves. Well, we were talking about New Year's resolutions, so we did a nice group organization, our event, a vision board for 2024. So let me show you specifically what I find very helpful when making resolution plans. So 2024, rising like a phoenix from the ashes, because of course it was the year from hell in 2023. But here's how you bounce back. So focusing, number one, philanthropy. We're going to save 13 kids, my family and I, next year. Less than this year, but still, that's awesome. Get Vegan Ultra up to 1,000 subscribers. We're well on track to achieve this. Daily videos and walking 3,000 miles. Now that's something I'm very confident I can do. Best shape of my life, just like I'm back in my army days, but even better. And you're going to watch it all happen on YouTube. Top 2% of analysts in the country. I was just ranked top 1%. And of course, not just losing the weight, but sticking to that whole food vegan diet. 7 to 8 hours of sleep. That one part of the Blue Zone lifestyle I have not quite mastered, but it's so important. And take a look at this. Becoming the ultimate boyfriend and husband material. Now notice what I did not do. I did not say that I want to bounce back from my business's setback and hit new records, because that's not something you can control, especially potentially going into recession. Getting a girlfriend, oh, wonderful, except it takes two to tango. So, and all you can do is prepare yourself to be worthy of accepting love from somebody else. So the bottom line is, it's control the controllable. I can control what I eat. I can control my fitness and exercise. I can control, hopefully, how much sleep I get and becoming someone worthy of love. These are all things that is so important that you do not want to get frustrated about, because of course Veganuary is coming up. A whole lot of people are going to try a Blue Zone vegan lifestyle, and this is what Sean is here to give people advice, experience from 10 years of doing this. He's been through the ups, the downs, all the successes and the failures, and that's why we're here to talk about, because of course we want people to not just try a resolution, maybe try a vegan lifestyle. We want to help you succeed and thrive so you can benefit from the science-based magic and nutrition-fueled sorcery that has transformed my life and can help almost anyone. So Sean, what can you tell people about New Year's resolutions? What is your personal experience with this?
Yeah, I guess a lot of failures in the past. Only when it I think the trend would be if I made a goal attainable, and if I gave myself any tools to make it easy to achieve, then I always achieve those goals. And when I make lofty or impossible, then I don't achieve those goals. One thing for me, mentality-wise, and everybody's mentality differs, but for me, what I have learned is that obstacles and hurdles are just simply part of life, and I have the best success if I don't treat them as if they're setbacks. So before we started the video today, we were talking about you hop on the wagon, you're like, I'm gonna do good, I'm gonna follow this protocol, and then your grandma or your great aunt makes you this thing, and it's some dessert, it's a meal, it's not plant-based, and you're in a spot where you're like, I don't want to be impolite, I better have some. Well, it would be easy to say, on the other side of that, don't simply give up and say to yourself, I'm off the wagon now. I think we all know that. I don't think that's particularly helpful for me to say that, just get back on the horse, get back to, trying to pursue your goals. But I think what maybe is a little bit helpful is to realize that you're still on track. If you hit that obstacle, fine, good. That's how life is going to go. You're not ever going to hit some stretch where you're not going to have obstacles or hurdles that you have to overcome. So just expect them and deal with them. And
so
when you've
would you say it's fair to say, like, if you're trying, instead of having like a goal of saying, you know what, I'm going to try pure plant-based, 100% clean eating, all the optimal stuff that you've seen on this show and on this channel. Know yourself. If you are someone who just loves meat, who, you're just standard American diet to the core, 20, 30 years, that's all you've known. Maybe for your resolution, shoot for something like, I'm going to try Meatless Monday. I'm going to do 1 day a week. And then maybe in, February, 2 days or 3 days. Or maybe even it takes you a whole year. Meatless Mondays for a year. And then next year, the resolution is 2 days a week. And that's the idea, that make something where the success. This reminds me, Dave Ramsey actually recommends pay off your bills and your debts and your credit cards, smallest to biggest. Because if you can say, in my first month, I paid off this credit card. Yes, that's a victory, baby. And you just go from strength to strength. And so set yourself up for small wins where, it's the same with exercise. Maybe it's like, hey, I'm going to go to the gym every day. It's like, well, hold on a second now. If your schedule, it's like maybe go once a week. And then you can work up to 2 and 3. And the same thing is like when you start out with, on the treadmill or on the machines and the weight training. It's like you start out with the small weights for a reason. One, you got to learn what you're doing. But 2, you can't be like, I'm going to squat 200 pounds. Not just are you going to hurt yourself, you're probably going to fail. And then you're going to be like, I hurt myself and I failed. Why the heck do people do this? And this is kind of the thing where you and I, we have learned how to be joyful in this lifestyle. But that's the thing that people have to understand. For me, it has not been as easy as I might make it seem. And for you, of course, 10 years, I'm sure it's been an epic saga.
Yeah, definitely. And I like what you said about maybe give yourself some kind of a target that maybe you're going to spend an entire year doing Meatless Mondays, which that reminds me, on an earlier chat, I mentioned that my rule when I went plant-based was just to recite the acronym G-BOMBS in my head. That was just the rule. Before I ate, I recited G-BOMBS. That's my greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds. And that's it. Well, how could I fail that? All I have to do is recite an acronym. I don't even have to eat those things. So I did that for a long time before I had all of my new habits. Well, I could, if I wanted a rule or a goal for this year that was built around, I'm going to eat certain foods and I'm going to have, a certain amount of adherence. I could do that now, 10 years later, But if I tried to set myself a rule of, some adherence to a G-Buns type diet way back when I first started, there's no way in hell I would have succeeded. It just would have been a recipe for disaster.
That is a really good point, because one of the things that we've talked about, how in the vegan community, a lot of people are in this for the ethical reasons, the environmental reasons. They don't know the nutritional benefits. And so one thing we really need to make clear is that, you know what? This is dose dependent. You do not, some people think there's like, oh my God, if I have one piece of pepperoni, my weight's gonna balloon, my cholesterol's going through the roof, I'm gonna have a heart attack the next day. That's not how it works. Eating the vegetables, the grains, like the G-Bums, as you were talking, Dr. Furman teaches, this is a wonderful example from a Cornell plant-based nutrition course, Dr. Campbell. Oh my God. If you smoke, the risk of lung cancer goes up 10-fold. But they found that people who eat enough plants and fruits and all these nutrient-dense antioxidants, phytoprotective chemicals, if you eat enough plants, if you smoke, your risk of lung cancer can decrease to the same level as non-smokers on a standard American diet. That is how powerful this is. So the point is that maybe you cannot completely go vegan, but if you simply add, we've talked about some of the studies where just adding, for example, omega-3s, 100 milligrams a day reduces your risk of dementia by about 9%. They've done studies where half an apple a day could have massive improvements, like a 10% reduction in certain cardiovascular disease from half an apple, not even one, half. So you can see how maybe your resolution is, I'm going to start by eating 1 serving of fruits and veg a day. And next year, I'm going to 2 and 3. And so this 5 a day takes you 5 years. And maybe the transition to Mediterranean diet takes you a decade to get to. But that's the point, is get on that road, because that is the thing that every time I face a setback, and I face some nasty doozies where it derailed everything, it can become so challenging where you're just like, to reach my goal seems insurmountable. It's like, it's a multi-year strategy, a multi-year plan. It's just like some people, whether it's business or family or health, you can just feel like you almost too exhausted to try again. So this is where those small goals, where it's just like, I'm going to walk every day, 22 minutes a day of walking, these incredible science-based magic benefits of walking, 43% reduction in dementia risk and Alzheimer's risk, 22 minutes a day. It's like, and maybe you can't even walk that much. Maybe you can do 5 minutes, 10 minutes, once around the block. Whatever it is, start there. Just begin and take the win. For January, just try every single day some kind of victory that you can congratulate yourself on. That is the first step. As Lao Tzu says, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And so that is what we are trying to inspire you. Sean, do you have any other words of wisdom and inspiration to help people make 2024 legend, wait for it, dairy?
Yeah, I've got a couple more, I suppose. I would say that make things easier for yourself. Go easy on yourself. Give yourself some tools. Give yourself some time to gain perspective, and give yourself some kind of community. So I've been doing plant-based lifestyle for approaching 10 years now. However, I gotta say, linking up with you, Adam, has been a huge boost to my motivation on Not only just, general wellness, happiness, joyfulness, but also eating well. I throughout this whole time that I've been plant-based, I've struggled to sort of stay on the wagon, eating the way that I know it's healthy and I know it tastes good. I know it's less expensive. I know it'll make me sleep better. I know I'll feel better during the day. I still struggle to stick with it. Um, but when I build up some community, that makes it a lot easier. And knowing that I'm going to have a chat with you every week makes a big difference in how I approach every meal. Not like, and it's not like a check-in. It's not like, oh, Adam's going to be disappointed, because we haven't done that kind of thing. It's more like I'm approaching my food with excitement. That, like, now I've got this compatriot here who is excited about all the whole foods and all of the benefits that you get from it. So I get that community with you. I get it with some other plant-based friends that I've made. And on New Year's resolutions, it could not be a better time to consider signing up for like a race. So that's a big part of what made last year, or this past year, 2023, a really good year for me with some severe improvements on wellness. I ended up a little over a year ago, I started going to therapy. That was a great thing to do. Been putting that off for years. My therapist helped talk me into just going out and going for hikes, because that's something that I like to do even during the winter. Needed to fight off the winter blues and the seasonal depression. And I was inspired to eat well so that I could perform pretty well. And through the course of that, I found this this team Plantstrong, and it's associated with the Plantstrong Foods, which is a wonderful option for prepared food. And they said, hey, why don't we help you get across your finish line? And we're all going to do this race. It's going to be the Austin Marathon in February. And they have a 5K. And I looked at that and I thought, well, even if I don't run, even if I, don't get out and run and train and improve every day, I can walk 5K. There's plenty of people that walk 5Ks. There's no reason why I can't do that. Well, I signed up for the race. Last year this year, 2023, I went down to Texas, joined this crew. That was one of the best experiences of my entire life. And the community continues. We've got the Facebook group. They helped push me into using Strava, which is a social media fitness tracking app. Man, I can't tell you how powerful it is to be tracking all of my workout history on Strava. Well, now, as I mentioned, give yourself the perspective of time. I have an entire previous year's worth of data on how I've performed. So I've got all my walks and my runs, and there were no expectations set against them. I just recorded every time I went out for a walk or a run, and I have, this cumulative year of fitness and history to look back on. And so now that's going to create my goal for 2024. And my goal is just going to be almost arbitrarily beat some of the numbers that I established in 2023, my first year using Strava. So all I have to do is keep building on my own fitness and consistency.
That is perfect, because remember, the idea behind even Vegan Ultra and starting this channel was just like, look, I know I'm never going to win a marathon. I'm never going to be able to complete an ultra marathon. 100 miles? It's like 50 miles? Are you insane? I can't. But you know what? It's just like that Austin Marathon. They let you do a 5K, they do a 10K. That they even have like the actual marathon itself. You have 3 weeks. It's like, well, you can't walk 26 miles. I tried today. I managed to get about 21. And it's like my legs just gave out. And it's like, okay, it's like, but I'm trying to get up to there, and by 26 miles, I'm with you. I'm going to try to get it done on that one day. But the idea is that you just, you can't accomplish something absolutely incredible all at once, but you can get there over time. And that's the idea. That it's like, you know what? Maybe I don't want people watching this to think that like Vegan Ultra is like, oh, it's just one guy dropping 150 pounds in a year and walking 3,000 miles. They're like, okay, that's cool. But it's like, come on, dude. Like, I'm 60 years old. It's just like, I can't walk 3 miles. It's just like, that's the idea. This is about inspiring people to get on the journey. Because remember, ultimately, perfection, it's a wonderful goal, but it's impossible to achieve. All we can ever do is stay on the road to get as close as possible. And that, don't try to be perfect. Try to live optimally. That means as close to perfection. Even the definition of veganism is as much as possible and practicable that you avoid causing suffering. It's not that, oh my God, I stepped on an ant. Oh, now it's time to throw it out. I go to McDonald's. It's like, no. It's like, this is what is possible. That is what it's about. That is what this whole movement, becoming the Captain America version of yourself. You're not going to be perfect. We're not actually going to be superheroes, but together we can save the world. And that's what the world needs. And so I want to thank Sean. I want to thank everybody for joining us here today. Please subscribe to this channel, like this video to help other people find it on YouTube. And with the new year, be realistic in your expectations, in your resolutions, because remember, the little wins, the daily little wins, those joys, that's the snowball effect that can take you from something that seems impossible to a mountaintop that you can be on top of in a year or 2 years, and you will be amazed at the results. So thank you so much. Next week, I hope you join us for another wonderful topic as we inspire me and Sean, your inspiration guides, on this journey of hope, health, and happiness to make 2024 legendary, epic, and the beginning of your personal transformation to become the best version of yourself. Remember, science-based magic, nutrition-fueled sorcery, it's all possible. Do you give it a chance and are powered by plants?